Hi guys, Kim here. Welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video, we are going to plant up this 3-tiered container, 1, 2, and 3. I got this 3-tiered container from Kinsman online. So if you like any of their stuff, all their stuff is absolutely gorgeous, and you can go online and get yours there as well. They have lots of different varieties of hanging baskets and hay racks and obelisk and anything that you can think of. I really love their quality. I am not sponsored by them. I just love their quality. Actually, Jenny from Creekside Nursery told me about them, and she said she loved their stuff. And of course, we have very similar taste, and I absolutely love their stuff as well. So I actually went to Creekside yesterday and grabbed me some plants for this project. I have this container right here on my front porch, so it does get partial shade to part sun. Now in the summertime, the sun is more over top of us, so we get more sun in this area. So I am going to get a little bit more sun in this area in the summertime versus now. It is mid-April right now. But let's talk about the plants that I'm going to plant in here. And I'm just going to love this container already. I think it's just going to be gorgeous. It's simple with these Caladiums, and I've got some Pentas to add some color, and some SUNPATIENS that are white. So a lot of white in this container because I want these Caladiums to be a great big pop of color. So you can see in this very top container that I've already displayed some of the plants like I like to plant. I do need to top them off. I put some really good quality soil for improving winters last fall, and what did I have in here? I do not remember. But I put just regular greens for a winter green display, and I had that all in the winter time. But so I really haven't planted any plants in there, so they really have not absorbed any nutrients. But I will have to top this off, and I do have the proven winter soil, so I'm going to do that with that. So I already have existing drip here, so I have 1/2 inch tubing on the front part of the flower garden, and then 1/4 inch drip that comes across the sidewalk, and then you can see where I'm going to pick up right here. So I have just the 1/4 inch tubing that runs along this side right here, and then I have the black tubing that connects from A to B, and this is my drip right here. So I'm going to run this black tubing all the way up the bottom of this, the bottom, and all the way up here, and all the way to the top up here as well, and then I will hook my regular drip tubing as well. So I'm going to share that with you in this video so you'll know how to hook up something like this to drip. It's just puzzle pieces that you have to put together, and these are my 1/4 inch vinyl coupler that I'm going to connect from the black drip to, I call this other drips my copper tubing. So if you hear me say copper tubing, that's my drip, and that's what these couplers look like right there. You can buy these at Lowe's, and I also have links to all these parts on Amazon if you like as well. So those are my couplers. I have more 1/4 inch black tubing that's right here, and then of course the 1/4 inch drip tubing. I call this copper. I don't know why I call it copper tubing, but this is my 1/4 inch drip. So that is what I need. I have gloves because I got to move all the soil away so I can run the drip up. And I've got my gloves to do that. So at first I'm going to go ahead and talk about these plants, and then we're going to run the drip up, and then we're going to plant it together, and I'll show you at the very end the final project. So the very first plant that I'd like to talk about is my pop of color. These are Caladiums. They're also, and you may know them as elephant ears, they're part of that family, but these are more common in South Africa, more in the tropical areas and in the rainforest. So that's what they're known for. They come and they grow in a little corn. So you know how you have roots in some plants, and then you have some tubers in some plants, but this comes from a little corn, and then you just grow it out from there. You can actually save this from year to year if you pull them out and save the corns and then try to resprout them. I did that maybe 1 year. Some of them came up, but they never came up exactly like I wanted to. So for me, it may not be worth me to do that. But if you're trying to save money, that's a good way to try to save them. But love this plant right here. So caladiums are usually known for shade, but Proven Winners, which is my favorite brand name, and I'm not sponsored by Proven Winners either, but every single time I will try to buy a Proven Winners brand name if I can, because I just love it so much. It performs so well, and I just can't say enough good about a Proven Winners plant. But this is the caladium that I chose. Look how so pretty that is. It has like a heart shape. So I got some green in there and some hot pink. I have hot pink in my very front, so I thought the hot pink would pull in from this container to the very front. So that's why I chose this. They have lots of different varieties, like over 1,000 varieties. And then of course the reds are really pretty also. And I really like the whites, and I thought about doing the white in this container, but they take more full shade. And I'm gonna get a little bit of sun in here, so I thought I'd be more safe to go to the sun to shade. I can actually put these in full sun, actually. Like maybe 2 years ago, and I'll throw the little image up of when I did the Indiglow mini super petunias and white caladiums, and they were so pretty. So that is my plant, and this is the tag, and I'll take pictures of all the tags and I'll have them at the very end of the video, and in my description I'll always talk about my plants as well. So in the description you can always find my plant names and any links that I have to anything on Amazon, or I'll put the link down to the Kinsman and what this 3-tiered container is if you would like to purchase this as well through Kinsman. But yeah, so pretty. Okay, so the name of this caladium is called Heart to Heart Tickle Me Pink. Doesn't that just tickle you pink? It's a strap leaf caladium. It takes sun to shade, and it gets 12 to 18 inches tall. Let's see. Its habit is upright. It is grown just for its foliage only, but when you got good foliage like that, you don't really need a flower with it as well. And then of course my spacing, I'm gonna pack them in here, so my spacing's not gonna really matter. But if you put it in the landscape in the very front, you can put them about 8 inches apart, which is not, very far apart. It's an annual, except in zones 10A to 11B. I am a zone 8, so like I said, if I just leave this in the ground, it's not gonna come back for me. But I have pulled them up and saved the corns and replanted them, but like I said, they did not come up like, as I was expecting. A few of them did come up. Water is normal, which I'm gonna put this on drip, so I'm not gonna have any problem with that. And like I said, light is sun to shade, so you can put these in the shade or you can put them in the sun and they'll do good. But make sure you look at your tag, because there is some that just like shade only, so you have to be really careful. Make sure you look at the tag. Proven Winners always has a great tag for you to look at. And then it does not require any deadheading for foliage interest. It's heat tolerant, and it goes in containers and landscapes, and it says its care is easy. Yay. So my next pop of color is this Sunstar Rose. It is a Penta. Of course the bloom looks like a star. So of course it brings this hot pink and this hot pink together, but with all the white that I've got going on here between this plant and this one right here, it's gonna look good. So I've got different foliage, I've got different leaves, I've got different flowers here. So you can see my theme when I'm putting plants together. So you wanna make sure that they contrast well together and that they have different accents and different leaves and different colors. So that's gonna look really good with that. And oh, let me show you. This has a little bit of pink in the middle there. Look how that draws that just tiny little pink together, and along with that as well. So pretty. Let me put this back. So let me tell you about this Penta. It is called Sunstar Rose. It takes full to part sun. So with what I got going on here, some sun and part shade, so this should do really good. But I am, instead of putting these over here like where it's going to get more shade, I'm going to put it to this area right here, because they are going to require some sun to be able to bloom as well. These get 18 to 22 inches, and let's talk about the habit. The habit is upright. It blooms from planting to frost, so from now till probably November. It gets 18 to 22 inches. It's an annual except in zones 11A to 11B, so this will not winter over for me because I'm a zone 8, like I just said. And it wants to be fertilized regularly, so I have no problem with that. I'll throw that slow release fertilizer that's in the soil, and then I'll do the water soluble as well. And then water normal, and then it does not require any kind of deadheading. It's heat tolerant, so exactly with these caladiums as well, they're heat tolerant also. And continuous bloom or rebloomer, and you can put this in containers and landscape, and the care is easy. Look at that. Yay. So the next plant that I'm going to talk about requires part shade to shade. Now I did put this plant right here in the very front of this little skinny side that I have going up to the garage, and they did fine. So I know that they're going to do well here as well. But look at that flower right there. Another just different bloom on there, all white. This plant does come in a purple, I believe, as well. But this one is called Endless Flirtation. This one is a Browallia plant, and it's a hybrid. It gets 12 to 16 inches. There's the plant and there's the tag. Like I said, I'll have it at the end of the video as well. And this habit is mounded, so I feel like this is going to give me some airiness. So this will definitely be like a filler, and it will probably even spill over some too, which excites me. And it's an annual except in zones 9A to 10B, so this will not winter over for me. It likes to be fertilized, so I'll do my water soluble fertilizer as well. And at the end of the video, we'll throw some water soluble fertilizer on here. It takes part shade to shade. Deadheading's not necessary. It's heat tolerant, so same combo with all of these. All require the same water. They all are heat tolerant. They all take shade to part shade, so doing good here. And continuous bloom or rebloomer, and you can put this in containers and landscapes. And I've not had this in a container, but I had it in landscape. Did really well for me. All right, and the very last plant that I have here is a sun patient. It's compact white is the name. It takes full to part sun, and it gets 16 to 30 inches tall. So this one's going to be taller for me than anything else. So I may want to put this more towards the center, or I can probably have it kind of like on the side, but I'll actually probably will put it more in the center, I guess, and then have these kind of spill over. So there's the real pretty flower. Like I said, I love that little tiny bit of pink in the middle there. And there's the tag. So habit is mounded. It blooms planting to frost. Its height's medium. It is an annual in zones 10A to 11B, so again, will not hardy over for me. Fertilize regularly, which is about the same as the rest of the plants. Deadheading not necessary. Landscape plant, you can do this in containers and in the landscape as well. Beautiful, beautiful plant. You could put white with any other color too. There's lots of different colors of sun patients. And also make sure you look at the tag, because there is some impatiens that just take nothing but shade. So be careful, look at your tags if you're putting this in the sun. So I have 4 different plants in this container. These are 3. Look at that combination. So I'm going to disassemble and get these plants out of the container. I'm going to move the soil away and put my drip up through here. And then I'm going to show that on video, and then we're going to plant all these up. And at the very end of the video, I'm going to show you all this gorgeousness that we got going on. So in order to keep all my drip stuff together, I have this little tackle box. My husband bought this for me. It was a great idea. So you can like put fishing lures or whatever in this, but it works great for all my little drip pieces. So these are my 2-way couplers here. See, there's the 2-way coupler. I'll take a picture at the very end. so you can see what that two-way coupler is. And I'm sure I'm going to use some of these three-way couplers too when I start to split my drip off, so I can water the very top of this. I have my Felco pruners, which I absolutely love. I'll have the link down below. Love these. These are a great investment if you don't have any Felco pruners. They'll cut anything. So these are really hard after you get them on. So I'm just going to take my pruners and cut right here. And then I want to connect more black tubing to this because I'm going to bring it all the way up through here. So I'm going to do a two-way coupler and just work my way. It's hard to see because it's so small, but just kind of wiggle it in there. And then I'm going to take my black tubing and make this longer. I'm just going to wiggle that piece in. And that's all it did, was extended it and made this black tubing a little bit longer. So I'm going to kind of just judge, like if I'm going underneath here, I want to make sure I have enough long, so I'm going to like cut it way longer than I'm going to need, about right here, and then I can always cut the excess off if I don't need that. So I want to bring it up the bottom. Let's see. I'm going to push all this dirt away at the very, very bottom. This soil is really, really dry, so I might want to go ahead and just water it down before I start getting my plants in there as well. I'm just making my way to the very bottom of the cocoa liner. And with my pruners, I'm going to make a small hole at the very bottom. Just punch a hole into the cocoa liner. This is a challenge. It's easier to do when it doesn't have no dirt in it. Now through the top one right here. Now that I got my tubing from the bottom down here, I got it here, here, and here, then I can go ahead and snip this off up here, because I cut it just a little bit too long. Then I'm going to add another 1/4 inch coupler, which just connects one end from the other end to this one. This is the 1/4 inch black tubing coupler, and then I'm going to hook it up to my drip. All right, so for this very top, I like to probably have maybe 5 dripper hose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there. So I'm going to cut it in here between. You cannot cut where it drips. It will not allow you to. So we're going to cut it there. Then we're going to take the 1/4 inch tubing and attach it to this drip. Just wiggle it on in there. Now at the very end, you have to have something at the very end or the water will just run out. So I could either put like, you have lots of options. You can put a black stopper, which looks like that, at the very end. Or if you want to add more water, you can put a little dripper on there that looks like this. And they come in different sizes. Or you can add like a little sprinkler thing too, like this. So I think I'm going to add the little sprinkler. Just water just comes out of these little hose. I think there's like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 8 little hose in this. So I can change this out if it's too much water. But of course, whatever I have in the top will just keep continuing to drip down. So if you're gonna add anything extra, the top one for this design would probably be the best. And then we're just gonna wiggle that in as well. Okay, so now I'm gonna add drip to here as well. So what I'm gonna do, I have a 3-way coupler, which is this right here. So I'm going to cut this black tubing, which I hope you can see me do this. So I can just cut here and here. So I'm going to connect both the tubing here. Let back down a little bit. And I'll show this closer up and show the little pictures at the very end so you can see closer up and in more detail. So I connected my black tubing here and here, which leaves me another little space. So that's where I'm going to connect this drip tubing to that. Setup's hard, but after you get it set up, it's so much easier just to have this water. I mean, like, you don't have to come out here and water this. Just set it up to your timer or at your faucet or at the spigot, and you're like golden. All right, so I'm gonna add 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now that I have my drip in, then I can add my soil. I'm gonna use Proven Winter soil, and then I'm gonna go ahead and grab the water hose and go ahead and make sure that this is all completely watered in before I start adding my plants. And then make sure that your plants are good and wet before you put them in here as well, because you don't want to put dry plants in here with dry soil and you're just setting it, giving these plants a poor start. So I'm going to water this soil in here and then make sure all my plants are watered in and they're completely a good consistency of water as well. And then we're going to start planting. hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I gave you some inspiration today. This 3-tiered container is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.